Do you want to solve the immigration crisis? Well, look no further than New York Congresswoman AOC, who has just a brilliant idea on The Daily Show. Watch this and we will discuss.
From all parts of the political spectrum, one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to immigration is the fact that we have an undocumented population. Now, you can fix that by trying to build a wall, or you can fix that by trying to document people and create a path to citizenship. We'll have folks that might say, look at these systems, you know, that our shelter system has weight and things like that. But one of the reasons that our public systems experience weight is because people don't have a documented and reliable path to work and sustain themselves, just like all of our ancestors did and our grandparents and great-grandparents.
Okay, so very smart, very qualified Congresswoman from New York City says, well, the best way is just give them all citizenship. Okay. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, pulled a number out of his butt and said, 2 million people have come into the country that we don't even know about. That is not including all of the people that have declared asylum and are waiting for their court dates that are in 4 or 5 years, by which they will surely have children and then be here forever. So the problem at the border is not that, oh, you should just give everybody citizenship, as AOC is suggesting. She says a pathway to citizenship, so I'll be fair in that, but she said, well, just let them just come in and stay here. Oh, okay. Is that the standard by which you can tell people to leave or let them stay? If I walk in to a large house that I can't afford, but a place that I really want to live, do I get to say, well, it's rude and probably racist to kick me out of this dwelling. I will now get to stay here. Will AOC come to my defense and say, no, they get to stay? Because she doesn't assume my gender. She calls me a they. They get to stay here. No, probably not. Now, there is a component of this where I might agree with AOC. I think the process by which that we're doing this whole asylum thing is insane. Now, obviously, we would disagree on what asylum is, but the fact that you come into the country, you claim asylum, then you get shipped off to somewhere, probably New York City, where Eric Adams is complaining a lot about it, and Brandon Johnson in Chicago is complaining about it, and all of the sanctuary cities around the country are complaining about it. But regardless, you come into the country, you quote-unquote claim asylum. The process should be, and I think AOC would even agree with me here, the process should be, all right, very quickly we decide if your asylum claim is legit or no, you have to leave. That should be the process. You would hire as many people as necessary to take a look at these particular asylum claims and decide yes or no, because that's really all that this is. It seems like a pretty fixable problem, and yet for some reason nobody wants to fix it. If you just said, hey, we are going to decide quickly whether you can stay here or you cannot, then you get to decide whether they stay here or not. And if they stay here, fine. Again, we would probably disagree on how many people we let stay, but if you say, hey, no, you gotta leave, you do it expeditiously, which is fair to not only the American people, but to the people who are coming in to the country, so much as I want to be fair to people illegally crossing into the country. Because what's happening now is you get sent to all of these cities, and then 3 or 4 years later, you have a hearing to decide whether or not you get to say, well, what happens in those 3 to 4 years? They probably got jobs, cash under the table without E-Verify. They may have had kids, which now anchors them in this country because they are now parents to American citizens. It is a problem for everybody. And it's going to be a massive problem in 2027, 2028, when all of this comes to a reckoning and you either have judges that are going to say, nope, can't stay, and are shipping a ton of people back to the countries that they came from because the asylum claim wasn't legit, or you're going to have all of these people go, well, what are you going to do? Just let them stay, and you entirely change the demographic of the country overnight, and illegally, by the way. So it is a huge problem, and while I can agree with AOC that the system probably needs to be revamped and fixed, preferably by a business person who has done this sort of thing before, no hints there, the whole idea of well, just document them then. Just give them give them everything they want and need. How about no? That's not going to work for me, dog.